Good evening, parents, and welcome to Back to School Night. I'm Lourdes Osorio, and I am your child's teacher for U.S. History 1. Today, I'm going to start the presentation and let you know some of the things we're going to be covering in class, and then Mr. Spina, who co-teaches with me, will fill you in on the rest. So let's begin with my background. And I joined Rutherford during the 2006-2007 school year, where I taught sixth grade social studies at Union School for a number of years. I changed careers. I was originally in charge of sales for a security services company in Manhattan. And after over a decade in that position, got tired of the commute into Manhattan, had children of my own, and wanted to spend more time with them. And then went back to school and became certified to teach. I have a son and daughter. My son will be graduating from college this year, and my daughter is already on her own in Philadelphia. The reason I mention that is because I understand your struggles in having to work and then having to come home and keep up with your child's assignments, homework, tests, etc. So I understand what you're going through, and I understand that that you are a very busy person. Um, but we are blessed to be in a great district for education. With you know that Rutherford is one of the top districts in the state, and New Jersey is a top state in the country. It is always ranked in the top three for education. So we're all blessed to be in a fantastic place for education, and I try to remind the students to take advantage of that. For U.S. History 1, um, there we don't use a textbook, although sometimes I will give them some textbook materials. But the topics that we are covering are we begin with the very end of the Civil War and Reconstruction. We then are starting now the Industrial Revolution and the Gilded Age. Then we will be covering imperialism, the Progressive Era, World War One, the Red Scare, the 1920s, which is a decade that the students find a lot of fun covering, the Great Depression, the 1930s, and then World War II. We finish up the year with World War II. For supplies, again, there is no textbook. I provide the materials that the students will need. Pretty much I put the materials together, except for an occasional link to a textbook. They will need one section of a notebook or a three-ring binder, and they will need a folder for handouts and markers or colored pencils for drawing assignments that we will have from time to time. Important information is they should be writing down their homework at the beginning of class. This year it's a little bit different because so many are working from home, or they're working from home part of the time. So homework and classwork is they're less clear, but all assignments in terms of getting them completed, if they are handed in late, they would count for 50% of the credit. So whatever grade they earned, it would be 50% of that if the homework assignment or if the assignment is handed in late. Of course, unless there's illness involved or a special situation, if the student speaks to me, we can make arrangements for special situations. Okay. For extra help, I am available on Zoom every day during after school hours. There is a link on Google Classroom that students can click, and they would connect to Zoom for whatever they may like to go over, whatever, any questions they may have, anything they'd like to review. So I encourage them to use that. I also encourage you to ask them to make sure they are keeping on top of what their grades are, that they're checking their grades weekly so that if I've made a mistake, it can be easily corrected or corrected promptly. Please do that. And also ask them to review assignments that are returned to them via Google Classroom. I spend time making corrections and notations, and often the students don't read them, so I ask you to do that. So I'm going to turn it over now to Mr. Spina. Thank you so much for being here today. If you need anything, please feel free to email me at any time, losorio@rutherfordschools.org. Have a great night.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carmen Spina. I am the co-teacher in Mrs. Osario's U.S. History 1 class. Just a little bit about my background. I studied history at Montclair State University. I also went on to receive MA in special education at NJCU. I started teaching in 1996 in Jersey City Public Schools. From there, I moved on to Belleville High School, and then I went on to Montclair High School before finally coming to Rutherford in 2005. I've taught every single area of special education, self-contained, in-class support. I've worked in resource room, and now I'm doing co-teaching. So I have vast experience working with both special and regular education students. Some of the skills that Mrs. Osorio and I are going to work on is we're going to focus on analysis, critical thinking, and interpretation of historical documents. We're going to take a look at primary sources from earlier time periods and evaluate their impact on history. Political cartoons and other visuals, map interpretation, and then we will work on preparing students for standardized testing, such as the PARCC, and the questions that will be found on the PARCC test. And one of the most important things that we're also going to do is work on current events and current news that is impacting our nation today. Our grading policy is as follows. We have quizzes that are worth 25%. Tests and projects are 35% of the student's grade. Homework is 15%. And then classwork and participation is 25% of the grade. This year, we're asking that students leave their cell phones in their bags and do not take them out during class. In years past, we would have the students put their phones in a caddy and then, pick them up at the end of the class. This year is a little different. We still don't want the cell phones in class, but the students are just going to keep the phones in their bags. This year so far, the students have been working very hard. It's a little different from years past, but what we've seen so far, the students are very excited about history. They seem to be participating greatly, and it's a very, very nice group of kids. And thank you guys for tuning in today, and I look forward to meeting all of you guys in person very, very soon. Thank you very much.